Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I want to welcome you. Also, as you can see, I got my blacks back. You might have seen that in a recent unboxing. Those are for sale. Hit me up over on Instagram or shoot me an email. Links also down in the description. And for the black number 1, I'm throwing in a free reader copy. So it's going to be a really great deal, depending on what the current market price is. I'm sure it'll be competitive. Just hit me up if you're interested about that. That's an incredible read, an incredible spec. There's a new series coming out called White that I'm really excited about. But today's unboxing, we have 2 CGC boxes. One of them is a magazine tier. And I'm a little bit nervous about this magazine tier because they were not pre-screened. So the way pre-screen works is you have to have at least 25 books in the same tier. Well, The Last Ronin technically is a magazine and not a comic, according to CGC. So it's in the magazine tier. And I didn't have 25 copies of The Last Ronin or any other magazines to send in. So I just sent in 8 copies. They're super clean. Just nearly, I mean, they were just perfect, and I saw a lot of 9.9s and 10s coming back, and I thought, I'm just going to risk it, send them in not pre-screen. So whatever grade they got, they will be slabbed in that grade. I've had not good luck ever doing that with CGC, so I'm nervous about that box. The other box is a regular CGC 9.8 pre-screen, so that one should be pretty good, and I think there's some goodies in there. For this Last Ronins, I recently did finish another submission. I went and I found 25 copies of Last Ronin, Miko Suion, black and white, virgin variants, and I got 20 copies of that, and I sent those in. So with 5 other copies, and I did pre-screen those. Now, a little tip, if you're submitting Last Ronins, the website's glitchy right now, and they won't let you put pre-screens on magazines, but I called and they said, yes, they do pre-screens for, and I did just say they do pre-screens for magazine tier. You just have to write it in on the submission form. So I'm definitely going to be following up with that and make sure that they actually do it. So without further ado, let's crack into this Last Ronin box. All right, so the first book here, oh my God. All right, the first one, we got a 9.4. Okay, this is not starting out great. I don't know why in the world this would be a 9.4. I mean, I'm looking at it and it's absolutely flawless. Let me take a look at the grader's notes and see if I can see why this is a 9.4. All right, so there's no grader's notes on this book, which is not surprising. They just don't really do grader's notes anymore, and I can't see a single flaw. So now the question is, do I crack and resubmit it? I'm thinking that possibly the reason that this got a 9.4 is because of fingerprints, and it's really hard to tell on the case because I'm getting fingerprints all over the back of the case as it is, so it's hard to tell what's on the book or what's on the case. There's an inner well, could be fingerprints on that as well. It's just impossible to know why they felt this is a 9.4, but this is actually rare in a 9.4. There's like 3 graded at 9.4, so, and tons of books graded higher than this. So it's really odd, you know, that it would come back so low, but it must be fingerprints, and I can't really justify, you know, I waited like 4 or 5 months for this, I believe, to come back. I can't really justify cracking it out, rubbing it down, make sure there's no fingerprints, sending it back in, waiting another 3, 4, 5 months just to get it back. You know, it's just crazy. It would have been really cool if CGC would have took their shirt sleeve and just rubbed a fingerprint off, but I know they're not in the business of doing that. That can't be expected. But when you think about what's happening with that, it's really silly. I mean, what if it was a 9.9 or a 10 without that fingerprint? I mean, they could have easily rubbed off. And here we go again, 9.6. All right, so first of all, a little appreciation for this book. It is beautiful. I love this cover. I love how they went with bright colors, bright orange and red on the back. And I did check all of the grader's notes just now, and there's no grader's notes for any of them. So again, we don't know why it's 9.6. Oh, look at that, another 9.6. Last Ronin number 1. This is the first print. And it's another 9.6. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, another 9.6. So This is the Retailer Incentive Edition A, the 1 in 10, if I didn't mention that already. I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, anybody want a Last Ronin 9.6? Is it would anybody want a Last Ronin in a 9.4? I don't know. All right, woohoo! 9.8. You know what? It makes me appreciate this 9.8 more. But to be honest, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth across the board because of these grades. So yeah, you might see these coming to my eBay store super cheap. This is the 1 in 25 Retailer Incentive Edition B. Super, super cool cover. It's got the title in yellow and the lettering down here is in yellow and the back is bright yellow. This is beautiful, beautiful book. I really, really like that one. All right. 9.8. Not bad for the first print. And another 9.8. And last but not least, another 9.8. So we got 4 out of 8 9.8s. 4 9.8s, 3 9.6s, and 1 9.4. Horrible. That's horrible. A horrible submission, especially when you factor in the fact that they're flawless books. I mean, yeah. I think the lesson to be learned on this one is you gotta go with pre-screen and check for fingerprints, especially on glossy Last Ronin covers. Make sure there's no fingerprints on there. That's got to be the only thing holding these back from a 9.8 is fingerprints. There's definitely no spine ticks. There's definitely no creases. There's definitely no color breaking problems whatsoever going on with these. So it's got to be fingerprints. So anyways, that's it for the magazine tier. Let's crack into the other box and hope for some better news. All right. So first off, we have the Recount #1 by Scout Comics. And this is the Scarface homage. It's the Scarface movie poster homage. And it's the Retailer Incentive Edition. I believe it's a 1 in 15. I'll put up on the screen. It's either a 1 in 10 or 1 in 15. Jonathan Hendrick story, Gabriel Ibarra Nunez art, and Brian Silverbacks art. Brian with a Y. Brian Silverbacks. The coolest name in comic book history. I mean, look at this sick Scarface homage cover. I am a big fan of this, and Brian Silverbacks actually commented on one of my videos once, so if you're watching, Brian, kudos to you. This is a beautiful cover, beautiful, just an awesome story. I'm a huge fan. On the back, it's got this really cool image, which is on the back of all of the issue #1s, I believe. And this is really cool. I'm really happy to have this. And I think I got multiple copies. And 4 copies of the Recount #1. Now, I think I'm going to hold on to these. Maybe I'll sell them, some of them at least. But I was really specking on this series for a TV show. I think it would be a prime candidate for a TV show. And I think it could still happen. It possibly could happen. So I might just hold on to these for a little while. I bought them as a spec, so I wouldn't be opposed to holding on to those. Oh, a 5th. All right, so I can see just by peeking at the tops of the rest of the books that the rest of these books are all Department of Truth. So this is Department of Truth #1. This is the 1 in 25 Inyahuk Lee incentive variant, which I think is a beautiful cover. Just really, really awesome art. But apparently people aren't digging it as much as cover A. So we'll see if that trend continues. Perfect timing for a Department of Truth box to come back because a show was just announced for the Department of Truth. And so prices are exploding. But, you know, I've been chirping about this series for months. I did a whole video about #1 in particular, and I've mentioned it probably 3 or 4 times. So, and it hit. And so that's really awesome. So we have multiple copies of this. So 7 copies of the 1 in 25 variant. So up next we have Department of Truth number 1. This is Declan Shalvey 1 in 10 retailer incentive cover, which hasn't got a lot of love either. This is definitely not doing as good as cover A. And it has to do with cover, you guys. Like, you know, a 1 in 10 could outsell a 1 in 100 if the cover is that good. And vice versa with just regular covers can outsell incentives. It happens all the time, and it really comes down to cover. Let's see what else, how many of those we got. All right, so 3 copies of the 1 in 10. And up next we have the regular cover, just the good old JFK cover A, which is doing incredibly well in a 9.8 white pages. So I got 2 copies of the cover A. All right, and up next we have the Department of Truth number 1. This is the Wanted Comics Virgin cover, which I think is doing really well right now, like even better than cover A and the incentives. So it's just a virgin variant of cover A. Really cool, and on the back it says Wanted Comics variant. On the cover here it says Wanted Comics exclusive virgin cover. I really wish they would put like the first appearances in this book on the label, because obviously it's the first appearance of Cole Turner. He's the main character. Usually it takes them a little while to catch on to what the first appearances are and to put it in their system, I guess. So we got 2 copies of the virgin cover. All right, and up next we have, bam, Department of Truth number 1, the 1 in 50 Merca and Dolfo incentive cover. This is just a phenomenal cover. It says variant cover E. This is one of my favorites because of just how clean it is. It's got a dark color front cover which shows up a lot of ticks, unlike cover A. Cover A's got like some white and stuff going on, so it's kind of more forgiving, but the 1 in 50 is definitely less forgiving. But I have had really good luck with the 1 in 50s. I've gotten really clean copies of this, and I think it has to do with just a better quality paper that Image Comics uses to Marvel. Marvel Comics paper is garbage across the board. I mean, it just doesn't stand a chance. Whereas this stuff's more high quality and stands a better chance. So we got 1 of these. So 6 copies of the 1 in 50 Merca and Dolfo incentive cover. I could not be happier with that. This is going for a pretty penny right now, and the show just got announced. I mean, they haven't announced any characters. I don't think we even know what network it's going to be on. It's in its infancy. So again, I don't think it's too late for this book. I think there's still room for it to grow, because all the details about the show haven't come out. Then what if the show does really well and they make it into a movie? Or what if the show does really well and it gets sequels and subsequent series and seasons? I mean, it has potential. So if you can find it for a good price, I would still consider getting in. If you're a speculator and you still want to get in on this, hit me up and see if we could do some kind of bundle deal. As you can see, I got a lot of copies here. I can't get crazy deals because these just fly off the shelf. I mean, this is one of the hottest books right now. But I could hook you up a little bit, but don't expect anything crazy because it's just super easy to sell 1 by 1. But I appreciate speculators. I think that they help the community, and so I'm down to hook you up with a little something if you're interested in that. So let's put up the numbers for the total numbers of this whole submission, including the Last Ronins and the Department of Truth's cost paid profits. So as you can see, guys, a pretty penny on this one. Stay tuned. Don't forget to hit subscribe and smash that bell notification button for when I drop new spec book videos. I'll be having some new ones coming up. I'll always be having spec book videos coming. Stuff that I'm specking on. This one totally played out Another one on my Something's Killing the Children specs have totally played out. I've got a bunch more in the queue. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. These unboxings are a lot of fun for me. I hope they're fun for you too. I really appreciate all the support thus far. Don't forget to hit me up over on Instagram or email me, shoot me an offer on any of these books. I'm going to be doing some more live sales, a lot of stuff more frequently on my Instagram and YouTube. I've got a lot going on right now with reorganizing the studio, stuff going on in my personal life, my work life, and obviously this is just booming and taking off. So stay tuned. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram. Live sales are a lot of fun and they're going to be happening more often. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you sticking with me to this part of the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.